The reason an action feels like it doesn't matter or mathematically it shouldn't be taking is because you're comparing it to a situation to which that action isn't optimal. The example that I can use is this: the help action. Good question. If I can make an attack and you can make an attack, then why on God's green earth would I ever use the help action? That's a good question. Let's just presume, for example, that we have three creatures that enter in the room. One of them, I go to swing my great axe on, and it does zero damage. I make a solid contact, but my weapon does nothing to it. But I know that I hit it well. I'm going to describe that. Then magic guy casts a spell and hits it, and it does damage. But then he casts a spell the next turn and he misses it, bouncing off the armor. Well, I'm going to use the help action to hold this thing still to where my other guy can actually hit it, giving him advantage on his attack roll. Why would I do that? Well, because I can't hurt it. I can't hinder it, but I can give my other player advantage on that roll. Now, that's a very specific situation in which you can actually see the mechanics working. In most Dungeons and Dragons games, there aren't a lot of monsters that have these very blatant mechanics or straight up immunities, but you can. You can do them all the time. In fact, you can have layer actions that could cause magic to actually cause no damage as it rotates around the room until you actually go and deal with that mechanic of that room. There are lots of mechanics we can add to encounters that will allow you to use other actions that will then be supportive. Why would I ever use the grapple and shove action when I can actually swing and make attack? Well, what if it's invulnerable, but there's a cliff next to you? Throw it off the cliff, right? So there's little bitty things that you can do as a dungeon master and as a player to make the encounter less about a slog between two players or between two things, and all of a sudden you have to work together or use the mechanics of the game, which are the things your character can do in order to win. So when it's no longer a slog fest of HP and you're having to think critically because the objective is to survive and to win, and you're in a situation to where you may be at odds, but you still have a way out. This is where thinking creatively and knowing what your actions can do can actually affect it, and in certain situations may be optimal depending on the environment. Something to think about. Food for